Hey everybody, this is Dark Side Elite here, and I want to do this video because I talked a little bit about the Snyder Cut news, and I want to do a rant because I'm getting very frustrated because I'm looking at certain levels of news, and it's very upsetting to see that people are still trying to say that they're bringing the news, but there's no 100% talks about anything right now, and nothing's been 100% confirmed. But they want to throw out this level of news and get a lot of people disheartened. There is a gentleman on Facebook right now. I'm not saying he's a bad person. I'm just voicing my concerns about what types of news is he trying to bring to the fans. And he is a good guy. He has his own personal informations and such. But my problem with him is that it's the same as with Lewis and Treno and also Dingus Bringus. They're trying to bring level of news, but there's no 100% about anything. They're just bringing personal opinions. And that's perfectly fine, but don't talk about anything negative until it's 100% confirmed, because that persuades and dissuades a lot of people into either not liking what's going on with DC or already starting to thumbs down DC. Now, one of the biggest news I've heard is that this gentleman on Facebook is bringing is that since J.J. Abrams has already been confirmed to want to do the Superman movie, that Henry Cavill's gone, and he hung up the cape. Now we've been getting a lot of information for the past months now that Henry is our Superman. He's still currently our Superman. He's fighting very hard to get the type of movie he wants, and he wants to try to bring a fair Superman that everyone can love. But the thing I think the situation he needs to learn is that you can't appease everybody. That he should just earmark himself into that. Zack's version of Superman was perfectly fine. They just needed to get him back, get him to where he needed, and Zack was already there. Zack already had a plan, and they pretty much just screwed it up. And I think that he should get back to that type of mentality. That Superman needs to be rebuilt. You can't just give a full blown Superman into a world and expect everyone to just already be okay with that, because the greatest thing about Superman's character is that you can't challenge him power wise. You can't. I mean, people can say, "Oh yeah, well Lex Luthor." No, you that it's a fool's errand, and so is like having to fight against Darkseid or Lex Luthor in his power suit or Parasite or Lobo. I mean, there'll be cool fights, but the thing is that you can't just keep challenging him physically. You got to challenge his humanity. You got to challenge his ideology. You got to challenge the what does he represent? And everyone's got to remember something. He is not from Earth. He is an alien. And the biggest questions that Lex Luthor has always proposed is, what does an alien who's never been born here have anything to say about humanity? He's not human. He doesn't belong on Earth. And it might sound cold. It might sound very disheartening. It might sound like that's not what people should be talking. But that's Lex Luthor. That's always been Lex Luthor's mentality towards Superman. He doesn't. He feels that Superman should not have any word on the future of humanity. Humanity should have the future on itself. And we should have our own manifest destiny. Not be persuaded by an immigrant who's not here and has the powers of a god, and only wants to basically do nothing with it. He doesn't want to share his technology or share the fruitness of his culture and his people to help humanity even further. He's been hiding his technology, and Superman has done that. He has hidden Kryptonian technology from humans, but he understands what humanity's going to do with it. They're going to pervert it. They're going to destroy it. And that's what Jor-El has been showing to his son ever since he created the Fortress of Solitude. And people can say, well, there you go. There's a good movie right there. I say, no, because you already have an established Superman. You got to build the reasonings of why. Why does Jor-El believe in that? And you got to build it from the ground floor up. So you can't just give us a Superman and then build a situation around him to say, well, this is what it is, without building Superman up to make us understand why does this Superman make sense for this world. And I feel that that's what they were going to do with Henry Cavill's Superman, but people already basically badmouthed it and destroyed it by saying, without watching the final products of the movie, and that's where I get very frustrated and I get very upset because that's like reading halfway into the book and already judging the final the ending without you reading the rest of the books. That's so stupid. And then all of a sudden you get a Cliff Note version of it, aka Justice League, and you already are saying, okay, well this Superman sucks. That to me that's a huge disservice to Ben Affleck. That's a huge disservice to Henry Cavill. That's a huge disservice to both these characters. These characters were pretty much given. They gave us a Cliff Note version of these characters because we already had an understanding of their storylines from BVS. We understood where Batman was at mentally. We understood where Batman was at physically and emotionally. We knew that Superman was dead, but how does the world reflect with Superman being dead? And we were slowly getting that, but then they basically cut everything out of it, so we didn't get the full ramifications of how does this team come together. Do they come together because of the coming of Darkseid or the coming of Steppenwolf, or do they come together because they all have ideals that they strive for under the guise of the death of Superman? That since Superman was the greatest hero that ever lived, how does his team come together? And that's where I feel that Batman's story was really coming into fold, because Batman's story was revolving around the fact that he got Superman killed. He was the catalyst to all of this, and it was all his fault. And he feels that he has tarnished his legacy as Batman, and he wanted to leave a strong legacy, not as Batman, but as Bruce Wayne, giving back to Earth, because he was the one who took away their greatest hero by giving them a team of strong heroes that can easily surmount any level of odds in tribute to Superman. So by this individual telling us that Henry Cavill is gone and he's already putting up the cape, I feel that pretty much that already takes everyone's sales out of it. It's like, okay, then, well, I already lost any reason to want to watch the rest of the DCEU. And he's sitting there saying, well, I mean, if you are, no, he shouldn't, nobody should take away anything from anybody. We should all get hyped. But if there is no information that Henry Cavill is gone, then why are you posting this? And I feel that bringing any level of negativity is gonna dissuade a lot of people. I personally feel that if they go with another Superman, I don't want to watch the Superman movies. I don't. I like Henry Cavill's version of Superman. I think that his Superman was perfect. His Superman was perfect for our world. And if you didn't like it, that's perfectly fine. You have your own personal opinions, and I will be perfectly fine with it. But you can't say that you can't use he didn't save anybody anymore. You can't use that type of tagline. You can't use he was too dour and unhappy. Well, that was his arc. He's going to change. Arcs mean that they're going to go through a crucible that's going to change them fundamentally as a character, that's going to strengthen them up to the point where they can become greater and better characters. And that's what I feel that Zack was doing. He was giving us a Superman that was very, very, very solemn away from humanity, because he didn't know if humanity deserved him. He didn't know if he was going to amount of anything towards humanity. Is humanity going to join him in the sun? And because of the standard that he set, that even Batman, he saved Batman's soul. He saved Batman's soul in BVS. And Batman realized that this man was more human than him, and he has all these great powers. And that's why I do believe that line of what he says, that Superman is more human than him. He is more human than him. Superman has always been something that Bruce always wants to aspire to become. But he knows he can't be that type of person, but he could try to aspire to be that type of a person. That he could look to the better of humanity and believe in true justice. And that's where Batman always changed who he was. He changed a good fundamental portion of his character because of Superman. So I know that you could say that, well, we didn't get that. I say, yeah, we didn't get that because we didn't get the full story. So you can't say that we were robbed unless you watch the finished product. We didn't watch the finished product. We watched a Cliff Note version, a Cliff Note with with someone else's words built into the story. So you can't say that Zack Snyder screwed up, because he didn't screw up, because we didn't get to see his side of the story. That so I feel that we got telephoned on these movies, and I feel that a lot of people need to really calm down a little bit about it. And I think that a lot of this negative press and um this negative news that we're getting on social media, it needs to truly stop. It's one of the worst things to happen. Like I said, I personally want great things for Marvel, and I want great things for DC. I can have an opinion about the fact that they changed Black Canary into a black woman, but I'm gonna still watch the movie and judge how they write her character. If they write her very ghetto, then I'm like, no, I'm not gonna like it. I want Black Canary to be a tomboy, but I don't want her to be ghetto. Okay, there's a difference when it comes down to street and ghetto. Okay, there's certain things you do, and just because she's black doesn't mean you have to write her as a ghetto black. All right, and same thing goes for the Suicide Squad. Just because they got all these characters in there doesn't mean that James Wan, I mean, I'm not James Wan, so James Gunn is not going to write it like a Guardians of the Galaxy. I don't think he is going to write it like Guardians of the Galaxy. I think that I'm going to give James Gunn the benefit of the credit and the benefit of the doubt and a little bit more credit, because he does do very well on dark comedies. He does very well on dark comedies, because if you really look at Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, it's a dark comedy. It's a very, very dark comedy with a lot of pop culture references, only because that was what Kevin Feige wanted in that movie. But look at the scene where Yondu is slaughtering his own men. He's slaughtering his own men, and he and Rocket are walking away with rock music blowing, and they're both chuckling and laughing to each other as his men. The men that basically, yes, they betrayed him, but these men have been with him for a very, very long time. He considers them almost like family. Yes, they betrayed him, but he's slaughtering them on a laugh. It's not like he gave them an opportunity. It's like, nope, they betrayed him, they die. And it's like, wow, really? So at the drop of a hat, you just slaughter people like that? And this isn't a Marvel movie. This is a Disney movie, and they're basically laughing it off. And people are perfectly fine with that, as long as it's a joke. And it's like, really? I mean, so death is funny. That's where I feel. It's like, this is not like a Friday the 13th or a Nightmare on Elm Street or a Halloween. This is meant to be a serious moment in Yondu's character, and he's completely slaughtering his own family basically. All right, and the people are perfectly fine with it. But when you got Superman, Henry Cavill Superman, faced with with a choice to stop Zod, which he can't truly stop Zod, because Zod is as powerful as him, more experienced, and all Zod has to do is just wait and be perfectly and start to understand his powers more, and Superman will be dead. He'll kill him. So you have Superman at this pinnacle point, and Zod's about to freaking kill this family. What do you want What do you want Superman to do? Put his hands over his eyes? No, that will burn his hands, and then Zod will just kill him anyway. What do you want to do? Fly him to us, lift him up, and have him lift him up and throw him to another section of the planet. Okay, well now you're gonna throw him to another section of the planet, and he'll just fly away and kill more people. So it's like you're trying to write certain things in avenues that makes no sense for the scene that's writing it, for the construction of that scene. It was meant to tell you that Superman had to make a choice: either kill the last remnants of his people, the last vestige of who he can be, I mean who he is, for people that he has to take a leap of faith on. He has to take a leap of faith on humanity, that they're not going to kick him to the curb at a moment's whim. AKA what happened in BVS. When the chips were down, people started to basically betray Superman. They all thought that he was a murderer. They all thought that he was a warmonger, when he wasn't. It was Lex Luthor. So I personally feel that people did not judge. I mean, sorry, they judged that film very harshly, and because of that, it really put a stain on anything that Zack Snyder wanted to do, which put a stain on anything that Henry Cavill can do, and Ben Affleck. And now Ben, who's walked away from the role, and I personally, this is my personal opinion, I don't think he wants to come back. I think that he wants to move on and he wants to do other movies and rebuild his life. I don't think he wants to come back to become a Batman. And if he does, he probably wants to make sure that nobody touches this movie. So I do believe that that I do believe that by bringing out more negative press and telling people that Henry Cavill's gone, you're taking the win out of the sales. So why would anybody? People are really fighting for the DCEU, and fighting for the Snyder Cut because they want to get this movie out. They want to see Henry Cavill more as Superman. And then on top of that, a lot of people who do want Henry Cavill as Superman, they're perfectly fine with another Superman. The Superman character has changed so many times, they're used to it by now. And now you're pretty much telling them, okay, well, good, okay, well then let's get on with another Superman. So it's like you're taking the power that Henry Cavill could have from him already. He got so when everyone's got to remember something, and this is a fact. When this was during the whole Brie Larson situation, when Brie Larson told Twitter, hey, I forgot the name, Hollywood, I think it was Vogue. She said, hey, do you want to break the internet tomorrow? And then they basically released a teaser of Captain Marvel. It was that day you heard that Henry Cavill was not Superman. And it broke the internet. It broke the internet. It basically made that whole Captain Marvel thing go bye-bye. No one cared about it because everybody was more concerned about is Henry Cavill being Superman. And he put out a video that said he's Superman. He didn't say it. He instituted that he is going to fight hard to be Superman. He's done very many videos. He's done not announcements, but he's done interviews that says that, hey, we're still negotiating. Everything is still perfectly fine. We're working it all out, and this is what I want. And he says that he wants to have creative control over the movie. I believe he wants to be executive producer of the movie. So he has some say in the director and everything else. And I think that's fair because he's worked very hard to get for this role, and he's worked very, very hard to get himself recognized as Superman, and he got himself in huge levels of shape, and he's willing to keep himself in shape to A, be healthy, and two, because he's Superman. And people recognize him as Superman, and he feels happy being that way. So why the heck would anybody want to dissuade people from giving Henry Cavill that audience power? The more people that want him to be Superman, the more power he has to put that to WB and Sarnoff and even Walter Hamada. So why would you want to take that away? And that's what I feel that they're doing. And it pisses me off. I'm trying to keep my profanity down, but it pisses me off that people are doing this. And I'm not going to announce who it is, but if you go on Facebook, there are people who are doing it, and I feel that's a huge disservice to Henry Cavill. You need to give him the power of the audience. If the audience wants him as Superman, they have to vote. They have to vocalize it. They have to announce it. But if you're going to sit there and keep telling people that Henry Cavill is gone, Henry Cavill put up the cape, then they're gonna like, okay, well, I'm done. And then he loses that fan base. He loses that power that he's supposed to have, that he can easily use that to persuade the higher ups, which is Toby Emmerich, which is Ann Sarnoff and Walter Hamada and anybody else, to say, hey, I want to be Superman and this is what I want. And so I have a huge problem with this. And again, I said this is gonna be a rant. I don't want this to be a huge rant, but I do want people to at least give Henry Cavill a little bit more love, give him more play. Watch Man of Steel, watch BVS, Look at how they're trying to inflict his character. He's not a somber character. He's just conflicted, and he doesn't fully understand or know yet the what he could truly do for humanity, because he's not been really tested for humanity yet. Just because he saved the world from a bunch of aliens, his own people, you think the world's going to unite with him? No. But him saving his city from an alien invasion and a monster created by Lex Luthor, that's going to persuade more people to join with Superman. And you could have easily did this for more Superman movies. And it just upsets me and again pisses me off when people start taking the power that Henry Cavill has, the bargaining chip he has. This is a bargaining chip for him, because if more people want him as Superman, he can use that as a bargaining chip. But if you get people to believe that Henry Cavill has put up the cape and he's done, even though he's still out there fighting hard to get that role, but he has to play ball. He has to be diplomatic about it, because Ann Sarnoff has a plan and she wants to initiate this plan. Now, one thing I'm hearing is that she wants to put more into Aquaman and Wonder Woman, because they're the two most successful solo movies. Okay, that's fine. But the thing is that you need to get Superman back in people's mouths. You got to get Henry Cavill back in front of the screen. Nobody is going to care much about Supergirl. If you force Supergirl into everyone's mouths, what's going to happen is you're going to have that inflicted into the media that that Superman doesn't matter anymore. And that's how a lot of these bloggers and these writers are going to write it. Supergirl is more popular than Superman. And that's not what you want. You want Superman to be the face of DC again. And if you have it Supergirl as the face of the DCEU, you're gonna have a divide again, because people are gonna be like, I don't want to see Supergirl. I want to see Superman. People are gonna be like, hey, I just want to see a good movie. And you have other people that says no Superman, no care. And for me is, I'm just not gonna watch. I want to watch other movies of other characters that I feel that is going to relate better to me, but I'm not going to sit through a movie that's going to be more all about woman power when that's not what the character is about. I'm not going to sit through a movie that's gonna crap all over the legacy of Superman just to prop up this character. No, I'm not sitting through that anymore. I sat through that with Supergirl and the TV show, and I feel that was a huge disservice to the character, a huge disservice to both of the characters. And I'm not sitting through that with Batwoman, and I'm not sitting through that with any other character. You don't need to crap all over massive legacy just to prop up a character. And I feel that that's what's going to happen pretty soon if they keep trying to put Supergirl ahead of Superman. I'm not saying that Supergirl is a second tier character, but in the terms of popularity and notoriety, she is. She's a B listed superhero, and she only is recognizable because she is the cousin of Superman. And there's nothing wrong with that. You could have her become an A-lister or a S-lister like the main people that we know of the Justice League, but just give us good movies, but still establish the universe that's around. So I'm gonna leave it here. Like I said, I'm gonna put I'm gonna put a description down below. Um, uh, I'm not gonna put a description. I'm not gonna do that. What I'm gonna do is just like, comment, share, subscribe down below. Hit the bell. I'll do more videos. It is gonna be a hectic week. This next couple of days is gonna be fire, because I literally am gonna be working almost close to 14 hours. So you guys have a great day. I have some videos already scheduled to come out, and I hope you guys enjoy. But this is my rant video for the DCEU, and and again, I'm getting very, very tired of them second classing Superman, and also I care what they're doing with Batman, but I still got to see the end product with Robert Pattinson. I don't there are fanfics out there, but I want to see the design of the bat suit. I want to see the design of what they're trying to do. before I give final judgment. So you guys have a great night, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.